We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk, 1180, 1230 KGEO, 1410 KERI, 1000 KKIM, and now on the Internet 3 times a week on knukmedia.com. Our guest by phone, author, political commentator, Andrew Klavan.
You know, Marty,
Yes.
Continuing on with that conversation, a few weeks ago we had a gentleman on the show who monitored movies, and he said that we're moving more towards Christian movies and more towards cleaner theme movies.
Ted Bear, yeah,
Right.
We had Ted Bear on, yeah, who lives not too far from where Andrew lives. So we're talking a little bit right now about the crisis in the arts. So, and you had actually written an article about this. How does the right take it back?
Well, I think that first of all we have to speak out boldly and without fear. That's the first thing. I mean, there's no getting around that. There's no strategy that's going to get around right-wing artists having the courage of their convictions and having the courage to say in meetings, in conferences, in all kinds of places, no, this is where I stand and this is why. It's not a question of hatefulness. It's not a question of racism. It's because you're wrong and I'm right and this is why. If we don't have people who are going to do that, it doesn't really matter what structures are in place. But then the other thing is we have to start thinking about the long term. We have to start thinking about American culture and the assumptions that are made, because that's what art affects. Art affects assumptions that people make and that they have in the back of their minds. And to do that, we're going to need money. We're going to need people funding the arts, not just movies. Movies are kind of almost becoming a thing of the past, but television, webisodes, all the kinds of things, books, all the kinds of things that kind of move into the culture and communicate with people. And we're going to start to have to see some magazines and some think tanks that deal with these issues. I mean, this is the incredible thing. Remember, when you bring out a movie, the reviewers go on the site Rotten Tomatoes, where they have reviewers. Look at any Christian movie, okay? God is Not Dead or Heaven is for Real, any of them. You'll see that the ratings of regular viewers are like up in the 80 and 90 percentile. The people love these movies. Then go over and look at the side where it tells you what professional reviewers say, and they're down at like 10%, 9%. The reviewers hate these movies. Well, why is that? It's because reviewers are all on the left, every single one of them on the atheist left. And so why don't we have venues that deal with the arts, that review them from a right-wing point of view? I mean, Ted is trying to do that on his site, but it's very limited to Christian, clean entertainment. And I have to be honest with you, while I love Christian clean entertainment, it's not the only kind of entertainment I love. I love seeing The Sopranos. I love seeing real gritty shows that deal with the real dark issues of life, and those shows too should be about freedom and about the right to run your own life and not have the government tell you what to do all the time. And I think that we need a really large scope. The infrastructure of the arts is not there, and that's going to take money, it's going to take dedication, it's going to take people who love the arts more than their political position. You have to love the arts first in order to sell your political position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've actually seen some television that's good recently, and True Detective was great.
Yep, that was a good show.
It was a good show.
Fargo was great. Oh, there's excellent television on. There's excellent television on. And that's the thing, sometimes those are not political shows, but sometimes the politics... Wait, let me stop for a minute. The True Detective had a lot of anti-Christian political salesmanship in it. And that's the thing. It doesn't affect the quality of the shows.
Right.
You can sell ideas on the right or left with good quality. We just don't do it enough, and we don't care enough about the arts, and we should really rethink that.
Mm-hmm. Let me follow up on something you just said previously, where you talked about movies and television, the lifespan of the medium more than the art. You have an iOS app. I think it's a mobile app for your smartphone. I have yet to take it in. Haunting Melissa? I'm not sure. What's the name, and can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, Haunting Melissa is a ghost story that I wrote, and a guy named Neil Edelstein developed as an app for iPads, iPhones, and it comes across. It's a ghost story, and it comes across your app, your iPad at kind of arbitrary times. Suddenly you'll be walking and your iPad will whisper to you that there's a new installment, and you'll get like maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes of a movie. We just finished filming the sequel, and so that'll be coming out hopefully around Thanksgiving. And it's a really innovative way of storytelling. It's something that just bypassed Hollywood completely. It was very popular. It had a really good release. Was on the iPhone bestseller lists and everything, and it just bypassed Hollywood completely. We didn't even have to go through them. It was Neil and me sitting in a room deciding what was going to be in that story, and filming the story on our own, and Neil directed it, and it was just a really exciting way to get around the system altogether, and there are more and more of those available to people, and we should be taking advantage of them.
It's a terrific success story. I'd like to see more artists on the right follow up and actually take that new tech route the way conservatives have dominated in new media, talk radio, other areas. I'd love to see them conquer the mobile app scene too, led by Andrew Klavan.
That would be great. We're having a conversation with Andrew Klavan, author and commentator.
Andrew, this is Clay, and I just wanted to let you know that because we knew you were coming on today, we invited our attorney, Mr. Martin, to sit in.
Just in case I said something untoward.
Just in case, talking about Christian white men or something like that.
That's because you're referring. We should tell the audience to a video I made thanking Christian white men for all the things they did. That people were very angry about that. I can't understand that.
That's a great segue.
It's funny. Not a word of that thing is untrue, but people are so indoctrinated to think that there's something wrong with that they really reacted in a very knee-jerk way, saying very nasty things about your obedient servant.
We're just a couple of middle-aged white men here on the radio, so with limited.
Well, all I was pointing out is that if you accuse white Christian men of holding slaves or of starting wars or of oppressing people, you're only accusing them of the things that every single group of people on earth has ever done. That's everybody. It's like accusing them of having two legs. But if you point out the things that white Christian men have done differently, like freeing the slaves, like ending slavery throughout Christendom, like giving women equal rights, like extending toleration to people who had different religions and different ways of life, those are unique things that Christian white men did, and really deserve our thanks because they included all of us in that circle by extending their toleration to us. It really is a remarkable achievement and something that they should be thanked for instead of cursed for.
Well, Andrew, I know what you're doing. The problem is you're confusing the issue with facts, and that's.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what came over me. It was the drugs, I think.
Well, we've got about 2 minutes left. So, Klavan on the Culture, which is what we're talking about with the Thanks Christian White Men. I really enjoy it, and I love it when you post that on Facebook.
Oh, let me just say though that this is a new series called The Revolting Truth, which is coming out of truthrevolt.org. I should just point that out because I don't want people going to the old Klavan on the Cultures and expecting the new ones. The new ones are at Truth Revolt, and they're called The Revolting Truth.
Okay, and yes, they are. And give us your website.
The website is you can come to andrewklavan.com, or you can find me on Twitter at Andrew Klavan, and you can go from there and find all the stuff that I'm doing.
Okay, I wanted to put that in early because we have a minute and a half left, and knowing the four of us, we're going to end up running past that if we're not careful. So I had to get that. I had to get the plug in first. So why do you think the Thanks Christian White Men, which I thought was hilarious, I was almost in tears at the end of it, why do you think that offended the left?
Well, I think it's their basic principle is that they are the people of fairness and anti-racism. I mean, this is the Democrats are the party of slavery, of the Ku Klux Klan, of Jim Crow, of segregation, of the welfare system that destroyed the black family, of the abortion that takes more black lives than cancer and heart attack combined. But they're convinced that they're the friend of the black man, and they cannot understand. They simply cannot understand that freedom is the best thing for everybody. Individual freedom, the right to choose your own way, the right to go your own way and live your own life is the best thing for everybody. And so they're always casting, the right as the bigots, as the oppressors. But all the right is really saying is choose your own way. There are things that we recommend. There are things that we think are more moral than other things. But in terms of the law, in terms of politics, choose your own way.
And Andrew, there you go again, confusing the issue with facts. Andrew, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it. We got to have you back, and we can't wait 4 years to do it.
All right. It's a pleasure. I'll talk to you again soon.
We'll see you in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.